You know, the
Your
BTS meal at McDonald's was pretty good. It's already stuff they already had, but it was stuff I normally would order.
yeah,
Except the sauce was pretty good. Well, one of them was. The other one was kind of garbage, but
yeah. The sake I gave
But
you
the
was
spicy one
cheap
was good.
too.
I only had the
It was,
mango one.
I think it was like $10.
welcome back to the Nakama podcast. I'm your host, Cruz, and I'm here joined with my co-hosts, two of them, Sal
Yes.
and Peralta.
Hello.
So we've got reviews of Orient. Actually, just what are the other two? They had long names.
They did have long names.
Oh, wait, in the Land of Leadale,
Uh-huh. And then a
And-
long-ass title.
and then a long-ass title.
Yeah, the longest title is A Life with an Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated into a Total Fantasy Knockout.
Yeah, I wasn't going to remember any of that. But before we do that, we do have some news.
Yeah.
So start off with the gaming news. Take it away, Sal.
Is Russia a dick? Question mark. That's what we have.
I mean, yeah?
No. Okay, the reason that we bringing this up is CD
Yeah.
Projekt Red has stopped selling Cyberpunk and The Witcher series to Russia.
Yep.
Stalker 2 is delayed because they're getting fucked
Yep.
because of
They're
Russia.
in the Ukraine, yeah.
Yup. FIFA 2022, no Russian team
Yeah.
because they're apparently the bad guys. And then there's other game game developers that are trying to say like we need to support Ukraine.
Yeah.
When I don't think that Russia should be getting all of this shit. Like it's not all of them doing it. And I know this isn't a political podcast, but it's just like why are the regular Joes who are just going to war getting shit on?
The major problem with me for video game companies saying no, we're not going to support this whole country, it has to do with the fact that most of our games now, even if you have a physical copy, have online services. You need them in order to play the damn game in the first place. So there is just that aspect of like, if they bought the fucking game, are they going to not be able to play that now?
Right.
And then also, why screw over a bunch of people who had nothing to do with what a smaller group of people is doing? Like, I don't think Vladimir Putin's going to be too upset that he can't see Geralt's naked feet in the opening cutscene of The Witcher anymore.
Yeah, same.
I don't see him being like, well, shit, we got to stop doing this, guys. I need to see my my topless wizards. They
need their softcore porn.
Yeah. The other stuff just kind of gives me that vibe of like companies having to show that they support the good guys so that way you don't feel bad giving them your money anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's video games. I don't need to know your position on shit.
Yeah.
That's, I don't care about what you have. So I just don't care about what you have to say.
I think I definitely fall in line with a lot of people on the internet were saying is like, why is Ukraine the exception of like we should feel bad for, but this shit happens all the time in Iraq. Just anywhere in the Middle East where just like, what was it, a couple of months ago? That bomb that fucking went off?
Yep.
There was some coverage for it, but not a lot of people were just like, these poor people that just got blasted by this, what was it, like a malfunctioning thing in the building and it just blew up?
I think the difference is that, unfortunately, is kind of par for the course for the Middle East in general. And also, some of that was us. Whereas with the Ukraine situation, that is very much just like, that's just Putin. He's, over the last, couple decades, been trying to slowly take over as much of outlying areas as he can. And so it just kind of feels like somebody just going in and stealing from somebody. And yeah, the murder involved in the stealing is the bad part, but the thing that gets people's attention is the stealing part, not the murder part.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, but it boosts the economy.
Not for us.
Not for us right now.
Not right now.
The fucking average gasoline price in San Francisco right now is, I think, $5.30.
Yeah.
And here, we're not that far. It's like $4 something. I put $25 worth of gas in my car, and it didn't even go up halfway, and that pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah, some of the people at work were like, I'm going to get an electric car now. And it's like, that's cool.
See, I never understood the idea of like, I'm going to buy an electric car to save the environment, because the amount of, and this is aside from the thing, but the amount of environmental damage that is done in producing any kind of car is where most of the environmental damage comes from. and it doesn't change when it's an electric car. So keeping a gas-powered car that you already have going for as long as you fucking possibly can is going to do more for the environment than buying a whole ass new car that runs off of lithium batteries that you can't really properly dispose of in any way without causing environmental harm. I don't know, it's just weird.
We just gotta throw it into space.
It's all right. The world's gonna end soon.
We can't dump things into space. We do it all the time, but we can't. But we do it all the time. But we're not supposed to. So you can't have anything. You can't have like a company that says this is going to be our method of disposal is dumping shit in space, because they would get in trouble for that. But we leave we go to space, we leave shit up there all the time.
Who's going to enforce this? The space police?
Space.
Like when we go to space, we take like 100% of a rocket, about halfway up. We dump 50% of it, and then we get up there and we hang out. And then when we decide to send the people back, we send a little pod that's maybe 5% of that spaceship back down, and that lands. And some of that burns up because it's meant to. There's heat shields, and then there's parachutes and blah, blah, blah. But that like 60%, I don't remember my own math that I just did. Whatever the fuck is left up there is still up there. And I would argue if you can't reuse that, that's trash.
Right.
That's expensive trash, but that's garbage up there. And that's how we get to space. We leave trash everywhere.
Just get a rocket and just throw it into the sun.
What we need is a rocket with lasers that will go into orbit, and it'll laser all of the other things to just disintegration, and then we only have that one piece of trash. And it gets rid of 90%. That Elon Musk, get on there right now.
Elon Musk is trash.
But he's been to space, and I'm sure he knows how to make a laser.
Jeff Bezos has been to space.
Yeah, but he just did it right now. I don't know if he can take a laser to space yet. I don't know if he has that technology yet.
He does. He has Amazon money.
Yeah, but Amazon money is... Having Amazon money is great. Knowing how to spend Amazon money is something Amazon doesn't even seem like they've had a good handle on, considering that I think technically speaking, they haven't made a profit since like 1996.
Damn.
Yeah. Can you believe they started just selling textbooks to college students, and then now they're this thing? That's fucked up. They were an online bookstore. They should have stayed that way.
No.
Yes.
I like buying my shit off of Amazon.
Yeah, it's
convenience cool. But like, since 1996, that's fucked up.
Anyway.
You haven't made $1?
Moving on.
It's been 25 years. God damn it.
Moving on. Cruise. The other thing of news that we got is Epic bought Bandcamp. If you're not aware of Bandcamp, it's a online music store, right?
Well, it's like an online music hosting thing.
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking that's a weird thing that they bought. I do know they own the people that made Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Maybe that's their way to
rejuvenate.
Yeah.
I mean, it also could just be that they're doing the same thing that a lot of other just tech companies in general do. Like Sony is a part of a larger company that it also includes things like Sony Music Group. Microsoft has their hands in so many different things, from like automobiles to planes to like it's diversification. That's just a thing, and that's just normal. It's par for the course for a lot of tech companies. So I mean, I'm only saying that insofar as to say this is not an official announcement that we're getting anything Guitar Hero or Rock Band related or any. It'd be dope. Those games were cool.
Yeah.
But it could also just be...
If they did another Rock Band, we would have to do it.
Yeah.
Peralta, you have to be vocalist.
Yeah. That's fine. That's all I ever did when Rock
Band
came out.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you said that you do karaoke, so you have to... She doesn't want to go to Crunchyroll because she'd rather watch the Backstreet Boys.
Even though they have tickets for 3 years.
They only have one good song.
The one song that I don't
first off,
like.
they have like 4 good songs.
They have one good song.
They have like 4 good songs.
Do you know which song it is?
I know the way they go. I don't know their names. When I was a kid, I wasn't that into them. They just came on the radio, and it's just as an adult when I hear them, it just triggers that little part in the back of my head that reminds me of when I was a kid. That's all.
Same. I remember in Utah, I would go to the skating rink all the time, and they would play that song, and then the I'm Blue song.
Dabba dee dabba die dabba. Yes, that one.
When Peralta told me that, I was like, so Peralta likes tall white boys with frosted tips. Got it.
Yeah. No, that was Justin Timberlake, and that is NSYNC.
Oh shit.
Wrong.
Actually, she's got a point.
Yeah, she got a point.
Dude, I had those tickets for 3 years. COVID fucked it up.
I get it.
I have to go. They're getting old. At some point, my childhood is gonna end.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, I've had my Funimation tickets for like 2-3 years now.
If it didn't happen this year, then
Yeah,
it
I
would
guess
be 3.
Yeah, you're right.
So the last bit of gaming news, as they announced a new Pokemon game, Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet,
and it takes place in a fictionalized version of Spain.
Yeah.
That's why the cat's name is Sprigatito.
Yeah, I don't know I didn't look up the names. I showed these guys.
That's the weed cat is named Sprigatito.
the starters. I think we all agree that the grass starter is the best.
No, I like the little fire gator dude. He looks cool. He looks stupid as fuck, but he looks cool, and I'm excited to see what he turns into. The other one's just a Twitter bird.
What do you think?
The bird doesn't care.
Yeah, no.
The duck.
Oh, is it duck?
It has a bill.
They give a rat's ass about the duck.
So which one do you choose, Peralta?
I chose the cat.
He's got the cooler name. I remember Sprigatito. I don't remember the other two names.
Visually, it's cute.
Yeah.
All right.
I would get a stuffed animal of it.
But I like the fire gator.
You hear that, Game Freak? Give us free shit.
I swear to God, if it's another, I don't think it's going to be, but I swear to God, if it's another firefighting, I'm gonna flip a goddamn table.
I don't think so. It looks like it's gonna be Fire Ground.
Yeah.
Which, if that's the case, Water's gonna fuck it in the ass.
Yeah, for sure.
Hard.
For sure.
Anyway, that's it for the gaming news.
Yeah, and we only really have one big piece of anime news this week, and that's that Crunchyroll has folded about 80% of Funimation's entire catalog into their own. Now, this probably means Funimation is not going to exist beyond this year. I would be surprised if it did, because, as we all know, that company is owned by Crunchyroll now. So
yes.
I have a feeling they're just going to expand their library, and then Funimation is just quietly going to go away. Now, if you have a Funimation account, what that does mean is you get 2 free months of Crunchyroll Premium. They're not folding in the memberships, just the catalog. So if you want to switch over, you would have to do that on your own, but at least you get 2 free months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did make sure to say that they're only folding 80% of the catalog. A lot of people are freaking out about that because they're afraid that their favorite thing isn't going to be accessible anymore because of this deal. And it's more likely that if that thing wasn't accessible, it's just a licensing issue, because a lot of these programs are only licensed for a particular period of time and on particular streaming services and in particular countries. This is the reason why any streaming service, if you're accessing it from your home country, is going to have a different catalog than from a separate one. It's the reason why Netflix Canada has different things we have. It's normal in the way that these sort of things work. So what I'm assuming is it's going to just be a lot of these sort of ancillary content. I know that they had some like Korean dramas on there. They had a lot of older shows. I would be surprised if any of the things that didn't come over were like big titles at all. I'd be surprised if they dropped any big titles in that transfer.
I just find it funny that Crunchyroll started as a pirating site and now it's your one-stop shop.
Yep.
To watch your animes.
Yep. It started off pirating anime, and now it's the only place you can legally find most anime. A little bit ironic.
Yup.
So, pirate your anime, I guess. I'm not saying that officially.
Any thoughts, Peralta?
There was one that we were watching that was on Funimation that didn't roll over. So my sister was like, "Oh, I cancel it," and I said, "No, I kind of need to finish one more episode."
What episode?
I don't remember, but it was one that we reviewed.
Yeah.
We review so much.
Yeah.
I know. Surprisingly, we reviewed so much, but I haven't been here this long, so I don't know. But there was one, and I tried to look for it on Crunchyroll. It was not there, and it's a recent one.
It wasn't the vampire one?
No, I don't.
Was
they
it
should
Tribe
cut that
9?
because of Russia. Just
No, they need to leave it.
He's not Russian, though.
the whole setting is.
He's
Yeah.
Transylvanian.
Yeah, but it's the U.S.
Oh, you're talking about the other vampire one. I'm talking
The
about the vampire dies in
astronaut.
no time. You guys are talking about the cosmonaut one.
Yeah.
That one, yes. That one is Russian. Yes, you're correct.
But that was during the Cold War. That doesn't affect now.
You would say that, but there are a lot of people who are getting upset at like just anything Russian. I saw somebody on Twitter talking about how they can't listen to Tchaikovsky anymore, and that dude was
What?
That's several hundred years ago.
Oh. He did nothing wrong.
No, I mean, I don't know that for sure,
though
but I don't know that he did anything wrong, and that's the same thing for me. Who knows if he used to, I don't know, stomp cats or something.
Well, cats deserve it.
Yeah. Put him inside the piano so that when he was playing, they would make fun sounds.
Anyway, I'm okay with Funimation being disappeared.
Yeah.
Same.
Only because when I watch it on the full screen, that shit goes back to minimize and I have to get up and click it.
Neither of the apps are great for me. I do still slightly prefer Crunchyroll's. I still wish Crunchyroll would do something about it at all, because it's a little bit stupid. I hate that you go onto the Crunchyroll main page, and yeah, there's the little what I've been watching, and then they're just like, we're gonna throw a bunch of anime we want you to see, and it's like, divide them by categories that make sense. I don't want like these like hyper niche things. Just comedy, horror, action, drama. Do it that way, and I'll find my own shit myself.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and then they also have like the things they recently uploaded, but that comes before like the new of the season. The new of the season should be right at the fucking top. That's what you should be. Don't advertise the fact that you guys just uploaded an English dub of like Hunter x Hunter from like fucking 5 years ago. Like, give me just the new shit. That's what I'm looking for. Anyway, that's yeah.
Moving on. Do you want to do Cyberpunk first or Elden Ring?
You do Elden Ring first, then I'll talk about Cyberpunk.
So, just a small review for Elden Ring. Right off the bat, it's the easiest Souls game to get into. The director for it said that they wanted to make Elden Ring accessible to everyone, and I agree with it. They did a good job for the fact that it's the easiest to get into, because you need to not think of it as a Souls game. You need to think of it as a regular RPG, and then that makes it easy. Because if you played the other games before, you're going to find yourself getting frustrated because the levels actually matter in this one. Like, your stats matter a little bit more, and then your gear matters a little bit more. So if you can't beat a boss at level 35, just fucking walk away, go beat up some other people, come back when you're 50, and then it's just easy mode. It's just an RPG at that point. And I like that. It's an open world game. You can decide however you want to play it. But there's like two ways to do it. Either do it the way they want you to, which is, I can't beat this guy up. Let me go beat up these other guys that I can. Come back, maybe I can beat him up. Or you can go down the path that I chose, which is slamming your fist against the wall. And eventually that wall will break.
Yep.
But at what cost? Time, effort, fucking getting upset because you lost. I don't think that's worth it. So that's why I've been changing the way I've been playing, because I went against the Tree Sentinel. It took me like an hour to brute force my way through it.
Yeah,
And then I made another character, and I beat him a lot easier because I already knew what to do.
Yeah.
And I already knew his play style or how he would fight, but it still comes down to they did a good job making it friendly for everyone. So even people who suck at the other games can pick this one up and just think of it as an RPG. Don't listen to people on the internet. Just play it like you would Dragon Quest or a Pokemon game. Just farm, level up your shit, and then just go back to it.
Yeah, I was watching Markiplier try to fight the Tree Sentinel, and he did the same thing you did, which is just throwing himself at it until it fucking died. And it took about an hour. So around the same thing. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people complain that like this game is too hard. It needs this, it needs that. But like there is a lot of just, fuck it, I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough to fight this dude yet. Let me go any of these other 8 directions and then go do some other shit, come back, and boom, I was able to kill the giant crab easy. And killing the giant crab makes it easy for me to go back and kill this other dude, which makes it easy for me to go back and kill this other dude. And then now I can kill the first dude that was giving me trouble.
Yeah, I also do like how it's open world. Because I did like Breath of the Wild, but I feel like that's also a negative thing against it is gamers, I use that term loosely.
Derogatorily?
They're kind of dumb.
It's like gamers, and I mean that as a slur.
Yeah, like fucking, they're just so casual now. Like,
yeah, it's a much bigger market than it used to be.
Yeah, so fucking people suck. Yep. And it's just a lot better just to fuck off, do something else, and then come back.
But I do think there are definitely I think a lot of the people that complain fall into the same attitude you have of, I'm just going to throw myself at it until it dies. But but lack the ability to learn things from the first few times they threw it. Because like I haven't seen you play this game, but I've seen you play Souls games before, and you'll throw yourself at an enemy, but each time you throw yourself, you're doing something slightly different. Whereas people tend to just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and then they're like, "Why doesn't it work?" And it's like, because you don't fucking know how to fight this dude. That's why.
Yeah.
You're not going, "Oh, when he makes that signal, that means I should take 2 steps back." You're just like rolling into hits, and it's like, well, that's it's your fault.
The open world to it is nice. This is what I was trying to say, but I forgot. It's nice if you're one of those people that are self-starters and you don't need direction. But if you're a person that's like, you need to draw a line from point A to point B. I need that, or I can't progress. Then it sucks for them because you run across a couple NPCs and like you got to fight 3 people, put the Elden Ring back together, and maybe that's the end of the game. But they don't really tell you where it's at. No. They're not. You just figure it out.
The thing is, they do give you hints. It's just the people that complain about not having quest markers and a map are also the people who won't read what they're like. Just turn on the captions and read what the person is telling you, and then you'll go like, "Oh, okay, they said this thing is under the 3 moons of blah blah blah," and then you go, "Okay, that's got to be a location. I'm not waiting for 3 moons to show up in the sky. That's a location. Let me find the location named that, and now I know I'm in the area of what I'm supposed to do." But because there's no big yellow line that takes them there, they just go, "Fuck, this game's too hard to figure out. I don't know what to do."
Yeah, and I think the other thing that I like about this one is it gives you a lot more freedom to experiment. Because in the previous games, I would go just pure strength, just get a big stick and just hit them. But this one, it kind of seems like they want you to be more of a hybrid. Either you're going to go strength, magic, faith, and dex, or a mixture of the 3 or the 4. So I like it. Elden Ring is good. If you're getting frustrated, you suck and get better.
Yeah, I did notice that a lot of people are saying that this game actually gives you a reason to like actually level dex quite a bit.
Yeah, dude, the dex weapons are fucking strong. I think this is the first time that dex weapons are actually useful. Yeah, a lot of the time they're not really that useful.
Because most of the time in the other games, dex would just be kind of a dump stat.
No, it was useful, but it was more for like if you're using curved swords, bows, or anything like that. And bows really weren't that viable in the previous games. But this one's a lot easier. This is definitely the easiest Souls game for the fact that if you go into it with the mentality Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, any RPG, Earthbound, just play it like that, and then the game's easy.
I don't know if you would play it like Final Fantasy. That's turn-based.
Yeah, but if you play it in Final Fantasy as like, I'm going to stay here for an hour, grind up to level 50.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then it's easy.
I guess what I'm saying is if you see a big guy, don't just stand there, move.
Yeah, because I think I'm fighting everything in level 35 and I can take maybe 2 hits and then I'm dead. So I've been just, again, forcing myself to keep hitting them until like, all right, this is the one to dodge. But if you take a step back and be like, all right, Final Fantasy rules, Yakuza like a dragon, just go level up, and then you come back and then you just slap them around.
Yeah. I'm just really liking the memes that coming out.
I thought it was funny that a bunch of Japanese players kept seeing signs for Fortnite, and they're like, oh shit, there's going to be an event at the fort at night. But no, it was a bunch of Americans just writing Fortnite.
Fortnite next to the castles.
Yeah.
Aww.
It was just us fucking with them.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So Cyberpunk.
Yeah. So Cyberpunk 2077 got a huge update last month, and it basically fixed a bunch of problems and added just a bunch of new content. So we finally got around to, and by we I mean Sal, finally got around to playing some more of it. And there's a lot of improvements here. I got rid of all my mods because I was like, gotta make sure that I know what the updates are at core and what they feel like. You do not take as many hits as you used to.
No, fuck
you
no.
are way less tanky, which I like. The driving is a lot smoother. Your car actually has momentum. So if you crash into something, the front end and the back end will move at separate rates like a car should. Whereas when the game first launched, everything was just kind of on a track and it looked really jank. And it sucked. A very small update is you can now climb on top of things that are moving, which is great because occasionally the game does still bug out.
Yeah.
And like it's meant so that way you can jump on like cars as they're passing, so that way you can, you know, steal them or whatever. But there's been a couple times where I'm like just Spider-Manning my way around an area I'm not supposed to, and there's like a shipping crate that's just vibrating in place because the game doesn't know if it's supposed to be there or not, and you can still climb on top of it because you can jump on moving things now. And then they also added a bunch of new clothing. They added some new quest lines, some new...
They removed skill trees and improved other skill trees.
Yeah. They renamed quite a few things.
Mm-hmm.
They just straight up got rid of certain talents you used to be able to get because nobody used them.
Yeah.
Like, I guess their internal data showed that, like, less than, like, 1% of players would use particular things. And they were just like, all right, fuck it, we're getting rid of it. And it's an all-around better game. The shooting's way better. The driving's way better. The dialogue has been improved in a lot of them. The romance options have extra things in them now. I don't think it's all of them. I think it's specific to Panem and Judy. I don't think the black dude or Carrie have anything, but we'll see. And this is not the only update that they're going to be getting. Now they are working on the new like actual game expansions from here out. They're no longer in bug fixing mode, which there are a few bugs to still fix, but nowhere near the volume that were on launch. So it's definitely in a much more improved state now. It's a much more playable game. It's a much better game. And if you were avoiding Cyberpunk for a while because it was a little jank, I think now is an appropriate time to get it.
This is definitely, if this game if it launched the way it is now, then I don't think I would have hated it as much. But I definitely played it enough back when it launched that I can tell that there's a difference without being biased, because you're the only person that played it and beat it. So when you're like, it's a lot better, just like, no, I don't believe you.
No, it's genuinely... Okay, the reason why I was able to tell that it's a lot better is because I no longer needed mods to fix problems that I had. Mm-hmm. I didn't need mods to make the shooting better. I didn't need mods to make the driving better. And I didn't need the bug fixes where, like, where did my car go? Or why didn't half of this building load? Or why is it that, like, I can't progress a speech thing because they've already said what they're saying, but the actual caption box thing that pops up hasn't populated yet, so I can't continue the conversation. And I didn't have to occasionally reset my game. I didn't have to occasionally load back to last checkpoint to fix a thing. And the fact that I was able to go through playing a Cyberpunk session for more than maybe 4 hours, which is a lot for me now, and not having to fix anything, that's a big deal. That's a big difference from before. And there's a new Keanu Reeves now. I forgot about that.
Keanu Reeves not in it anymore?
No. He's in it. Or you can change...
The way he looks?
Yeah, you can change Johnny to it was one of the concept art.
Okay.
One of the concept characters for him.
That was already there. That was a couple update. That was the last update before this big one.
Yes, but I just want to mention that part because that's cool. Because that's the character they were going to go with before they got Keanu Reeves, and then they were like, "Fuck it, let's just scan him in." So if you want Keanu Reeves' performance without being taken out of the game, because you're like, "That's Keanu Reeves," just pick the other guy, and then it's just a decent voice acting job from Keanu Reeves.
But also, would you pick up either of these games?
Sure, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought you said you were a true gamer girl.
Yeah,
just a random quirky gamer girl.
Whoever's listening to you, your notes should be full of shit.
Yeah.
So with the reviews that, like we mentioned earlier, we're gonna start off with Orient.
Yeah, that is an anime about a dude who grew up with his friend wanting to be these samurai dudes who kill a bunch of oni, which are just Japanese demons who have now conquered the world. And they've gotten old enough that he's decided, I don't want to be in this class to be a miner anymore. He doesn't want to go to the salt mines. So he says, fuck it, homie, dog, another thing that popped into my head that I can't say. You and me should go kill those things like we always said we would. And then the dude's like, nah. And then he's like, bet, I'm going to go anyway. And then he goes and he starts a fight with a big oni dude that just kind of looks like a teddy bear with no face. And then he starts beating the shit out of it with a pickaxe, but that doesn't really help because the pickaxe is too blunt. I don't know why. I don't know why he was doing 0 damage to him with the regular pickaxe, but then when he got his like scythe, double-edged scythe thing that he was referring to as a katana, why suddenly he was able to fuck it up. I don't know if maybe that was sharper or it was the magic of friendship or something. But anyway, he's getting his shit kicked in by one of those Oni, and then his friend hits him in the face with a motorcycle in the most this is gonna be a cool moment direction I've ever seen from somebody who didn't know what a cool moment was. And then they just start fighting these giant dudes, and they manage to kill all of them. And that begins their adventure in killing Oni. And this one kind of sucked.
Thought it was okay. It gave me a lot of God Eater vibes. I don't think you watched God Eater.
No. I'm thinking Soul Eater, and Soul Eater is a much better play.
No,
I'm just thinking dudes with scythes.
Only one person has scythe in Soul Eater.
Yeah.
I guess if that's your only point of reference, is
that's
like
my only point of reference.
Then that's like saying that it's similar to the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
It is, because he's got a scythe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Weapon of choice.
And also the Oni, the Oni in the first episode definitely look like a character design that would not be out of place in the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
But this one is your generic shonen anime, but I like it. It does the same thing like any shonen does. The main character is kind of dumb, wants to grab the world by its balls.
Yep.
And he has a friend that's always privileged, and it's like, I don't want to do this.
And he has a motorcycle, which they're not supposed to have. And also, I like the quote unquote subtle world building where everything that's a machine has giant crystals sticking out of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where they get their electricity. And it's like, okay, that's stupid. It looks incredibly stupid. But I guess, sure, this giant motorcycle, or this motorcycle with giant crystals sticking out of it, sure, why not? That's fine. You know what bothered me the most about this anime? And it's a stupid little nitpick. The main guy's hair does like an X on his forehead, and that bothers me from a design perspective because it draws too much attention. And then it's like, one, hair doesn't do that. That's not the way that you're combing both sides of your hair inward, and that's stupid, right? That's dumb.
Yeah, I don't know.
But also, art direction, it should lead your eye somewhere. And when you do something like that, you're telling me to pay attention to his forehead. And that would make sense if you had a crystal in it, like Raven from the Teen Titans. But he doesn't. He just has a stupid haircut, and it bothers me. It just feels like the kind of decision where they're like, and we're going to make him really cool. And that's what this anime feels like to me, is some old guy going like, but we're going to do this so it looks really cool for the kids. So it's cool for the kids. And then it just feels very out of touch and very like forced.
Yeah. Because in the second and third episode, they fight a big ass Oni with the big ass stomach. When the first time I saw it, I was like, why is he punching his dick?
I didn't get that vibe at all.
Dude, when like they like knock it down and like the weird Oni worshippers are like, what are you doing to our great master? And the red haired guy, it's when it eats the blonde haired dude's sword or whatever, his privileged friend's sword, his actual katana.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna break it out, and he's like, no, we gotta run away. When I saw, you just see the demon bro just kind of sitting back, and there's a big ass ball in his legs, and I was like, pretty sure that's not meant to be his dick, but that's all I'm just seeing is.
That sounds like a you problem.
I did not see that.
I see legs and then a big bulge, and I was just like, why is he punching his dick?
No. That's ultimate distraction, but okay.
And then they're trying to fight the big demon guy, but then the actual Oni hunters come in and then like, sit down, little bitch. Let me show you how it's done.
Yeah.
Which I don't like how this gives me a lot of vibes to God Eater, where badass captain dude is clearly badass, but he lets the lower level grunts try to fight this thing when he could have just one-shot it.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you're that strong, why don't you just do that from the get-go?
It reminds me of like the Power Rangers, right?
Yeah.
When every episode was like, they're gonna fight some dude in like a suit, and then the witch lady goes, make my monster grow, and then it grows really big, and then they're like, we're gonna fight it separately. Oh shit, that didn't work. Let's bring the Zord out, and then we'll fight it there. And then it takes like 2 seconds, and it's like, Just bring the Zord out. Bring the Zord out when he's still 5'4", and you'll get it done even quicker.
Yeah.
Just like, what? Why are we doing this dance? We know. Except when you take it out of the rating for children and instead making it a rating for adults, it's worse because people die before you make that decision.
Yeah.
And it's like, you knew this whole time. You could one-shot this dude. And you were like, hey, Steve, I know you're new here. You want to take this one? And then he just gets killed. And
For giggles.
yeah, and then you're just like, womp.
Yeah.
Sucks, we'll have to get a new guy.
Damn, I guess I gotta go tell his wife now.
Yeah.
Steve is gone.
And they let like 3 more Steves die. And then you're like, I guess I'll take care of this myself.
Peralta, thoughts before we keep going on about the show?
Yes.
What's your version of it?
Definitely made for a childhood boy. Very like short sentences, phrases you don't have to get into in depth. His childhood friend, they weren't really childhood friends. He actually hated his guts.
Yeah.
And he came out of nowhere and he was like, what the fuck? And then his dad was like, oh yeah, now you have someone to spar with. All of a sudden they were quote unquote friends. And then I got confused because I didn't know what genre we were in. I was like, future, Oni, samurai,
you did
katana,
text me
motorcycle.
that. You're like,
I was
I'm confused, and I'm like, I think I'm at work when you're telling me this, and I'm
You
just
are
like,
at work.
and I'm just like, I don't know what to. I think I just ignored you because I was like, I don't know what you want me to say.
I was really confused, and
because I could tell you're confused because I'm asking you how was the Starbucks, and you're like, yeah, the sake was good, and it's like, okay, no, I'm asking about the coffee, and you're like, yeah, it was really good, and I was like, no, the Starbucks that I brought you today, and then she's like, oh yeah, I would get it again, and she's like, what the fuck?
And I was watching this episode,
Yeah.
and I watched it dubbed because I was like, I don't have time to read right now, so let me just listen.
I watched
Yeah.
the first episode,
And then they kept saying the word bougie, and I just kept thinking of like
bougie
or the way they said it was like bougie, like you're rich or whatever, but I know it wasn't that word, and then I was like, I think I have to listen to this subbed because I didn't understand.
Are you sure they're saying?
They were saying bushi, as in like
Yeah.
bushido.
That's what I
Because
didn't.
that's they were talking about.
Yeah.
Bushido.
But I just kept
But
hearing
I could hear
bougie.
bougie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was about to say, did they say bougie? I was like, I'm
In
not
English, like
Yeah.
I didn't like how it sounded, and I was like, I made a bad choice by trying to do this dubbed.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I understand that from a grammatical perspective, you can do that in Japanese. You can just call it bushi, and people will know because the way that that's broken down. In English, why not just refer to it as bushido?
Yeah.
Most people aren't going to understand the way that word breaks down. So just saying bushi over and over again means nothing to me in English.
No.
So just as, I understand grammatically it's incorrect, but it's not the same language. So just call it bushido and
And
we'll
move on.
get what
Yeah.
we'll get what you're saying. We'll know that you're talking about a group of dudes with swords. And questionable haircuts. That's fine.
Yeah. Also, didn't like how you can tell that like this guy's gonna be the cool guy because he has blue hair, and this is the main protagonist because he has red hair. I hate how they change the hair colors to shit.
Yeah.
Kind of. If the captain doesn't have blue hair, it's either white.
That's one of the things, speaking about something else entirely, that's one of the things that I actually appreciate about a lot of isekais is in regular anime, right? Like, you see, like, a classroom full of kids with, like, black, brown, yellow hair, and there's one kid in the middle who's got, like, spiky purple hair, and you're like, that's clearly the main character.
Right.
In a lot of isekais, it's not the case. There are, like, 3 dudes in the background with green hair, or blue hair, or white, or everybody's got a weird one, and so the main character doesn't look out of place, and 99% of the time, it's the inverse. The main character's the only one with a regular haircut, because they're from the real world, and everybody else is fucking weird, and so, like, that's neat. This one is very much feels like a lot of decisions that were made to make kids think it was cool.
Yeah.
Without much of an actual through line between them, because the designs for individual things don't seem to follow a trend either. Another property that has like weird, wacky designs is One Piece, but they all look like they're part of the same world. This one doesn't look like it's part of the same world. Like when you look at the boats in One Piece and the buildings in One Piece and the people in One Piece, they look like they're part of the same thing. When you look at the vehicles in this versus the characters versus the background characters versus the buildings and then the monsters, they all just kind of feel like they're haphazardly put together from like, it feels like I'm looking at Smash Bros. So overall, I would give this one a 4.
Before we just wrap
if
it,
you're
this one.
a childhood boy, then you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I
Although if you're
would not watch it ever again.
if you're a childhood boy, why are you listening to this?
Maybe
Where are your parents?
suck.
Anyway, what would you rate this?
If I had to put a number
If you
one,
had it- there you go.
Damn, just like that. I think it's like a 6.
Now, for
like
listeners
God
out there, a 6 in Sal speak means a 1 because he
No.
doesn't give anything less than a 5 because of the effort put into it.
No, to me it's enough like God Eater where it's like I can watch this. There might be a twist or turn here and there, but
Yeah.
I like the God Eater. I like these fucking just brain. The third episode I had to watch sub and I was getting dressed while I was watching this and I was like, I don't need to read this. They're just saying nonsense at this point.
Yeah.
You can just watch it.
That is a benefit to this one, I guess, if you call it a benefit, is it is so simple and it lacks in so much dialogue that, like, you can kind of just look at the pictures and get a pretty good idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
Which, from a writing perspective, like, if you're doing anything that's any form of sequential art, if someone can look at what you've put down and it doesn't have words and they can tell what's going on, you did your job in communicating through images what's going on. So that's a point for them.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like God Eater, where it's just like, it's not as dark, and I'm not meaning like lighting, but in God Eater, fucking people die left and right. Yeah. But in this one, we're not seeing anything like that, where it's just like, I can put this on. If I look down and I can see some words on it, I was like, that matches what the vibe of the scene is. So I thought it was good enough, but then again, I like action, animes in general. So that's why it's a 6 to me. I would recommend this for people who like action, like God Eater, Parasite the Maximum, anything like that. There's not story based, at least it's not the first 3 episodes, but enough to engage you. Yeah. The next one up is In the Land of Leadale. Leadale.
Did you watch it dubbed or subbed?
Watched it dubbed, and it was really funny because this is about a girl, fucking gets murdered by a blackout 'cause she's in the hospital. Mm-hmm. She went to the VR thing, and it doesn't explain why 200 years have passed from when she died to when she wakes up. So far. And I like this one. This one was cool. She's just trying to get her bearings together. She's like, I played this game fucking last month or some shit, but 200 years have passed, and I'm trying to figure out what's going down. She wakes up at an inn. The staff there are friendly to her. The world people are friendly. She's overpowered as shit. And she, in the first episode, she's trying to, again, figure out what the fuck's going down. She remembers that she has fucking kids. And that was the part that I liked the most, because she's a high elf. She has 2 high elf kids, a boy and a girl, and then she has a third kid who's a dwarf. When she goes to the door, I'm pretty sure that's the voice actor who's Torbjorn from Overwatch.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure. Like, fucking, I will bet $5 that it's the voice actor for Torbjorn. It sounded just like Torbjorn. I just needed him to yell out Molten Core, and then that would have been it.
You might be right about that.
Anything else you guys want to say?
I thought you weren't done. You were like, yeah, and then she's got this dwarf kid, and then he comes to the door, and I was expecting you to say something else after that. That's it?
Well, that's what really happens, at least from what I can remember, is she just trying to get her bearings.
Yeah, and she's visiting all these little towers. I'm still confused about the time thing, but again, if you're in a VR from your whatever coma, I guess.
Bet you she had cancer.
I guess.
I mean, they do mention that she, like, the
sick.
fucking first episode, the lady's like, what have you been eating? And then she's just like, IV drips and pills and stuff. And then she's just like,
the fuck?
What?
It's cute, little typical game.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I liked is the different in animation, because it goes from like the early 2090s where they trying to make people look like people, and then some people look like thumbs.
Yeah.
And then you have like the obvious 3D models with the 2D background. I like the fact that it was changing it up where it's just not one set thing. Because a lot of the time that shit bothers me, but for whatever reason, this one, it didn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
Just the different animation styles that they went with.
It very much reminded me of Code Lyoko in that regard, where like part of this is one way and then part of this is another way, and it makes sense because of the story. But if I'm being honest, maybe the one thing that I really liked about this, I thought the character was kind of like the main character that we're following, and it is pretty much just we're at the beginning and they haven't really revealed too much about her, but I haven't found a reason for me to want to keep knowing about her. Like we're told she was in some sort of accident, and that's kind of it. And maybe if they described the accident or a little bit of what happened before that, or give me anything about who she is, maybe I'd be a little bit more interested in seeing. You know, if they were like, yes, all this happened. Also, she's the Prime Minister of New Zealand. I'd be like, okay, there's something there. Or also, this accident involved a bunch of other people. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe there's some mystery there. Or even just like something to, you know, make me feel for her a little bit, where it's like,
she
yes,
was in a terrible chainsaw accident.
she was no, just like, you know, she was in like a bus accident or she has a family outside of this or something. And then it's like, okay, then I'll care about her a little bit more and the reason why she wants to go back. But I would imagine that if I were in the situation where I was like damn near dead and they were like, hey, you can have a regular fucking life in VR and you won't even notice that you're just basically dead outside of it, I'd be like, bet, that sounds like a better quality of life for me. Yeah, it's the Matrix, sure, but at the very least, I can enjoy things again and not have to worry about this hospital situation. So give me a reason to care about why she should go back and I'll be more interested.
I mean, wasn't she looking for like other humans?
Yeah,
just to see what
was happening.
The power went out, because it's a hospital and all hospitals are on the power grid, but they also have backup generators. Yeah, so
that should last a very, very long time.
Yeah, I think they have a couple
the world
of
was fucked.
Yeah,
everyone just got EMP'd.
Unless somebody just got Unless it's it's like a situation where the final episode is like she goes back to the world and it's just she's like mid being nuked. Then it's like, okay, I'd understand that.
And the end.
But I mean, I like the interest they build about the world she goes into, about Leadale, and like the idea of like where the fuck are 90% of the people that used to be here? Mm-hmm. What happened to them? It's more so the character that I don't know why I should care about her. I feel like if they had a more interesting main character, then I'd be more invested in it. Because like they are doing some neat stuff. I just don't know if I'm going to continue because I'm not vibing too much with the main girl.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute. I mean, I love storylines, so that's my always go-getter.
Yeah.
I did not like that it was like, I'm going to virtual reality and this is my character. Like, I get that, but I've seen that so many times.
Yeah.
It's like, what is different other than you got to go look at these things, meet these people, look at these things. But she's like an old style kind of character, and these people have obviously evolved. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't understand like her potion making and like this is old school, or leveling up and showing her little power grid, and the little girl's like, what are you doing? You can make light. And she's just like bringing this little tiny ass candle. So I would feel like that's where my interest is what happened to the world and how this virtual reality world, is it even a world? Is it the real world? Like she knows she's not from that world, but all of these people think they are. So I got really like, wonder what happened to the real world if this world keeps producing whatever it's producing.
Yeah.
And I like the little animal creatures. You get the whole sense of culture that's different, and they get along, which maybe the world should understand that and mimic that, but they don't. And her children are interesting.
Yeah.
I think that got me even a little bit more intrigued, like who they were, why she created them. Maybe she couldn't have her own children. I don't know.
Well, no, she said that it was the game trying to raise money for charity. So that's why she got children, is because she gave real money.
That would have been a better main character. Give me the perspective of the dwarf child who was born to a family of elves.
Right?
Then I want to know what that's like. Especially if it's like a dad ran out situation or like dad's gone situation, and now little dwarf son has to go find or figure out what happened to dwarf dad, but he's been taught the sort of manners and mannerisms of the elf community. And so he's able to go to these, because elves are always the posh people. Elves are always the rich, posh people in fantasy things. So he has to go to like an elf party, and they're like, we don't allow dwarves here because we're racist. And then he's like, I know all your ways. That's a cooler character than just lady who was in the hospital who is now in the Matrix. Because that's what it's the Matrix.
She's not in the Matrix. She's in a game.
That's the Matrix.
No. Isn't the Matrix supposed to be like a simulation? It ain't no game. There ain't no leveling up in the Matrix.
He flies in the Matrix. It's kind of a game.
Yeah, because he's the one.
That's the thing, though, right? This is a separate thing. They're always like, oh, Neo's crazy because he can do all this shit because he's the one. But other people can do that too.
In
like,
the newest movie, yeah.
Like, dude, did you not play the Matrix Online? Everyone can do that.
Yeah, but that's the Matrix Online.
It's technically canon.
I guess.
I guess. The new movie shows stuff from the fucking Matrix game. The weird... Anyway, that's aside from the thing. I mean, I would argue it's kind of the Matrix. Well, I guess the difference is she knows she's not from that world.
Yeah.
And that's maybe what makes it not the Matrix, is because the Matrix was like, he doesn't know he's in a machine until it's revealed to him. Mm-hmm. But
I don't think this anime is going to end.
What if that's why? That makes perfect sense. She was on tubes and pills. What if it is the Matrix, but it's the Matrix, right? And the last episode shows her getting out of it, and she's right next to Neo's capsule.
No.
We all know that's
not going to happen at all.
I mean, it's a good
I'd be surprised if at the end of this anime series, she wakes up from the game. Like, she's like, I'm going to go back to reality because the little preview that you saw, she got fucked.
Yeah,
Why would you want to go back to more suffering instead of...
I have a feeling this is going to be one of those, like, life is better in here kind of things.
Yeah, it's going to be like Joe from The Ritualist.
Like a Chronicles of Narnia thing.
Where he gets blown up.
Where, like, they're being bombed by a bunch of people on the outside, and on the inside, they're kings and queens.
Overall, I like this one. Give it, like, a solid 8. Am I going to continue? Most likely not.
I'd give it like a solid 6. It wasn't my thing. It's very close to almost being my thing, though. And I think I should give it some points for that.
It's a 7 for me. And I probably will continue it because I like to just finish series.
But it is an isekai, so who knows if it's even going to finish.
Don't tell me that.
I mean, how many of them have been going on for way too long?
I know. I'll at least watch whatever I can watch.
Like a lot of the popular ones. I mean, Sword Art's still going.
Yeah.
Re:Zero still going.
Although I guess in Sword Art's defense, you can watch the first season and pretend it ended like that, and that's fine.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, yeah, there's more to it, but that could also just be the end, is with the first one, so that's fine. Devil is a Part-Timer just didn't continue.
No, it's getting season 2
It's getting a season 2. I hope they fix some things with the manga, though, because there were some weird decisions in what's going to be adapted.
So the last anime is a long one.
Title.
Yes.
Life with an Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated into a Total Fantasy Knockout. The title is misleading.
So I have a question. Were either of you thrown off by the intro where there's the narrator talking about it and then he describes it as a romantic comedy? I didn't think it was going to be one going into it. I was just like, okay, it's fantasy knockout, whatever. I assumed it was going to be maybe at most like a harem thing where there's like a dude who was a loser and then he goes into this thing and then he's hot and everybody wants him and then he goes out on adventures. That's what I thought it was going to be. And then it turns out it's two dudes who are best friends, and then when they get turned into they go into the game, one of them gets turned into a small blonde lady with big boobies, and then they want to fuck each other.
Big boobies? No.
Does she not have big boobies?
No,
I don't remember.
She's like a little petite girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a lolly.
I don't remember. I'm just going based off of what I expected it. That was the first one I watched. So I watched that on like Tuesday, and my attention span is not that long. But
yeah, because I think I sent it out on Wednesday.
Wednesday, then maybe it was the day that you sent it to me. I watched it, but it was just like, it was just about two dudes who want to fuck each other.
So backing up for Cruz's spoiling everything, yes, it's these.
It's not a spoiler.
Two,
It's the intro speech from the guy.
There's
not even 2 minutes in.
These two dudes. One guy who gets hella bitches. Actually, can I keep bitches or no?
Yes.
Okay, so
It's
one
a microaggression, but it's okay.
If you wanna,
you're the one.
Actually, you should be asking. You should be asking Brittany whether you can keep bitches or not.
No, she doesn't care. But
She doesn't care if you've got bitches.
No, we're talking about the anime.
Anyway, so this cool guy gets all these girls.
The cool guy. I wouldn't push it that far.
No.
So this dude. Yeah. Do you want to do the thing, Peralta?
I don't even remember. I just know there's these two guys.
Yeah.
They're friends. They kind of grew up together from middle school, high school, college, post career. One is definitely everything's easygoing for him. Doesn't try hard. All the girls are attracted to him, but has zero care for it.
Yeah, I have a feeling, and I'm going out on a limb here, guys. This may not be true. I have a feeling he might be gay.
See, so what Peralta also missed is he does work hard. That's the reason that he gets all these bitches, is that he puts others in front of himself, and that's why all the bitches come to him.
He has the appearance of somebody who is just very like,
well
don't
put
care in the
together,
world.
mature.
But I mean, I think that is just sort of a reflection of how people actually are. Because like you always hear about like, and you probably hear it with students too, where there are some students who just do better than other ones, and they don't really have to try that hard. But I'm 100% certain that those students just have really weird interests outside of school, and so they're still learning. They're just doing it a different way. Yeah. And that's very much what this guy is like he puts in effort. It's just not the direct kind of effort that most people are used to seeing. You don't see him struggling because he's doing that on his own over here. He seems like somebody who's
So yeah, two dudes in their 30s. One gets bitches. The other one doesn't get bitches because he's very middle of the road, doesn't stand out.
Are they
Average
supposed
Joe?
to be? Are they supposed to be the same age?
Yeah,
Yep, 32.
they're 32.
Because I remember one of the guys makes a comment about the one, or the tall one makes a comment about the one who turns into a girl, as kind of makes him sound like he's old because he's over 30. So I assumed one, but I assumed one of them.
He's probably older by a few months.
I expected it to be like a you, Sal, situation where like all of your friends that are even a year older than you're like, God, you're ancient.
Yes.
I figured it would be like one's 32, one's 31.
No, they're both 32.
One's 30. So yeah, one's probably just a couple months.
Yeah.
Difference.
So the two dudes, the guy who does get no bitches is always trying to go to mixers, but he brings along the guy who does get bitches. Even though it's a double-edged sword, but the reason he's doing it is hopefully he can get married and then he can be swimming in bitches himself.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
I like that plan though, right? Like, let me get my more attractive friend tied down, so now I'm the only one on the market. When it's like, just don't bring him.
Yeah.
Just don't tell him you're going out, and just go out on your own, and or better yet, bring an uglier friend.
Yeah. And then that's when you were saying like it's like that weird in between where he's like, I'm not attracted to females, but he's not attracted to dudes either. He just likes to hang out with his homie.
Yeah.
They're like BFFs for life.
So that's like, that's where it's just like, I don't know if he's gay or if he's just gay for his homie. But the one that gets no bitches gets too drunk, and he's like, I wish I was the prettiest girl in the world. And then the god lady is like, you ready to get isekai fuckers? And the one that does get the bitches, the mature one, he, of course, being a good friend, is like, no, my amigo, and jumps in front of the arrow, and then they both wake up into the world. And then, the one that's mid turns into a lolly. If you don't know what it is, it's like they're of age, but they just have childlike appearances. Proportions, yeah.
So it usually means that not only are they flat-chested, they're also short.
Yes. They look like kids. They look like 9-year-olds.
Yeah.
And it's their adventures of, I gotta remember that he's a 30-year-old who's my friend that I don't want to stick my wiener in.
It's that one episode of Black Mirror.
That's what Jacob said. Because I was telling Jacob, I was like, this is you and Adrian. And then I told Juan, I was like, this is you and Vince.
Because there's just for context, there's an episode of...
on Netflix.
Yeah, on Netflix. Of Black Mirror where it's two friends who play a VR fighting game. but they're both attracted to each other's avatars, and so they just decide they're going to use the game to fuck.
And one of them is married and has kids.
And then they start wondering, do I feel this way outside of the game? So they meet up in an alleyway to kiss.
Oh my god. No.
And then they're like, no, we don't like each other. We're still going to fuck in VR, though.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things where it's just like, am I gay or am I just
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's like, am I gay or does he just look really good right now?
Yeah, it's like, am I gay or am I homosexual, as Jacob says.
Yes, exactly.
But I like this one. This one's funny to me because it reminds me of like Konosuba, but not as funny as Konosuba because a lot of the shit that happens is because of the guy who gets bitches being too stubborn to apologize to the goddess person, and then the other guy liking the fact that he's a pretty girl.
The dude who gets bitches is probably the one that like I enjoy seeing more because I don't know. There's just something.
Do you enjoy his internal monologue of torture?
It's just more so the way that he interacts with the world just feels more interesting than the other one and maybe it is just that dude's wish was I want to be the prettiest girl ever and he got it immediately, and so maybe he's just more fine with the situation, and so there's less conflict there, so it's less interesting to me, whereas the other guy is very much like fuck. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where like there's ideas there that I really like. There's just something about this one that's not grabbing me.
Yeah, they get isekai. The first thing they fight is this cute rabbit bear that face opens up. That shoots lasers. I thought was pretty cool. The guy who gets bitches punches a hole through it, and it made me laugh that they were fine with the hole going through, but then when it collapsed, they had to censor it. Thought that was pretty funny. I don't know if they did that intentionally or what. I'm assuming they did it intentionally.
Yeah, because they did for the joke.
Yeah. After that, they go into a town, and the girl goes in first to try to get some help, and all the raiders just fall in love, and they're like, "You're gonna be my wife, and I'm gonna stop thieving, and we're gonna have a decent life. Let me go fight. Let me go tell the boss," and they just start fighting each other and then killing each other.
And I think that's maybe the reason why that dude's just more okay with everything. Is at least the world where he's getting more attention.
Yeah.
So I don't even think he's gay. I think he just likes attention.
Well, no, the one that might be
the
gay
other one,
the one who gets bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has that confused complex.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I don't know if I just want to bang you or if I want to bang you because
they really
you're my
also
friend.
do emphasize the fact that he gets a lot of attention and he doesn't really care too much about it.
Unless it's from his friend.
Yeah.
His homie.
Where he's very much like, get away from me, hot lady. I'm doing something else.
Yeah, it's like virginity's badass.
Yeah.
Because
the virginity rocks shirt.
Yeah, because there's a one point where he walks in on his friend naked. The girl's naked, and they're like, that was the first time I've ever seen a naked woman. It's like, you're 30, bro. You're a warlock then.
Yep.
We have 2 friends that are on that path.
Yeah, they're almost warlocks.
They're almost warlocks.
Almost wizards.
Yeah.
One of them's 3 years. They're both 3 years away.
Yeah, they're both 3
years. They're both the same age.
We're gonna have 2 wizards.
Except neither of them is the one that gets bitches.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
That's why they're gonna be wizards.
Yeah. This part has to get cut out.
No, leave it in.
Oh no!
They're not gonna listen.
Oh god.
They don't know. Well, they know who they are.
They do know who they are.
The world doesn't know though.
The world doesn't.
AJ knows. Moving on from that, they run across the most beautiful elf, and they try to have like a little competition to see who's the most beautiful. And of course, guy with no bitches wins, because apparently in that world more people are into lollies than fully developed elves.
Yeah.
Did these fools ever get names, as we keep calling them?
Oh, yeah, they definitely do. But I
don't even remember.
One of them is like, it's close to Gino. But the guy with the glasses is close to Gino, and the other one sounds like Takayaki or something like that.
Yeah.
Something with a T.
I remember. It's coming back to me.
You know, I don't remember because I'm bad at names.
Anyway,
they both have
it's easy to
names.
remember them about being bitches and no bitches.
Which is fine because we have a female who said that's okay.
It is.
We're politically correct.
You're just like, it's okay now because she said it too.
Yeah, just like how you can
Ideally,
say
you should not say the word. However, you can change the endearment to be more powerful. So
bitches nowadays love being called bitches.
not when I was in 6th grade.
Okay. Well, we're not in 6th grade, are we? We're all over 25.
That's true.
There's some girls who like to be called hood rats.
Yeah.
And hoes.
You know, there are some girls who also like to be called by their names.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good thing we don't know any of them. Because over here, we got someone who gets referred to her last name. Doesn't even use her first name.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I don't.
Same with our other coworkers. I know the goddess gave them a curse.
Yeah.
And she has the stats because this is an isekai and it plays like a game where they have their own stat sheet because the guy who gets bitches has fucking almost maxed out stats and homegirl does not. She barely levels up in like the 3rd episode. I think she goes to level 1 or level 2.
Level 2.
Yeah. But overall, I really like it. I thought it was funny. I think I watched it sub. I don't think there's a dub for this one yet.
No, I don't think so. If there is, it probably barely started.
As a girl, have you ever thought like, I wish I was the prettiest girl in the world?
No, hell to the fuck no.
Wouldn't the relation be, as a girl, have you ever thought I was the most handsomest boy in the world?
I guess.
Because he's talking about the opposite gender.
Yeah.
If you were a
also
boy,
drunk.
if you were a boy, do you think you'd be the handsomest boy in the
I
world?
would hope so. I mean,
Well, hopefully,
She can't be the handsomest boy in the world. It's me.
well, hopefully, if you turn into a dude, you would want to get taller. Because if you're short, I'm sorry.
yeah,
That's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
short dudes. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, our friend
I would
CJ
need
is like
height.
4'11", and I'm surprised that he got a
it's
girlfriend.
like averagely my height, but okay.
4'11" is your height?
No, mine's 4'11 and 3/4.
Okay, so she's 4'9".
Yeah.
Everyone lies. They give an inch and
Actually,
then with your
is
shoes.
that everybody,
I don't
or is that
use
just
my
a man
shoes.
thing?
I think it's a man thing because I know.
Because Fernanda will correct me where I'll be like, "Yeah, you're like 5'7", right?" And she'll be like, "I'm 5'6", and it's like, "Okay, you know, you're
I
saying
just
you're
know
shorter."
I'm fucking short.
No,
So maybe.
But I'm the same way too. Where Brittany's like, "How tall are you?" I'm like, "I think I'm 5'9". She's like, "No, you're probably like 5'10". It's like, I'm pretty sure I'm 5'9". She's like, "No, you look like 5'10". It's like, okay, whatever.
You and I are the same height,
I think so.
approximately. I think you're maybe a couple of millimeters at most taller than I am. Either that or our eye lines are separate.
So Peralta, if you were the prettiest man,
Yeah, that's what I would wish for, I guess.
Yeah, what are you asking?
I don't
that?
know.
I mean, if
just said it.
if I was that character and that had to happen, I'd be okay with it, I guess. Would I survive in this game mode? Probably not. But I like this one. I like the little innuendos and the jokes. You do have to pay attention so that you catch it. And I'm very interested to see how their relationship develops.
If they don't bang, I'm gonna be upset.
I have a feeling they're going to, because I feel like that's the whole point.
I hope that they bang and then the next morning they're back to being dudes. And then it's gonna be like the Black Mirror episode was like, should we bang to see if we liked it?
Oh no.
Anything else you want to say, Peralta?
No, it was entertaining. Out of the 3, this was probably the one that was like,
Yeah, this is the one I like the
All right.
most. It's the one that I started with too.
I'll probably wait to finish it though.
Yeah, I'd probably say this is the one that I like the most too. Although I still wouldn't say that I was necessarily a big fan of it. I'd probably give it like a 7.
Give it like a good 8.
For me, it's a 7.
Yeah, but that's it. That's it for the episode, right?
You can follow us at nakama.com.
Okay, so first off,
You can follow
we've done
us.
so many episodes. Nakamapod.com.
You can follow us on Instagram at nakamapod.
You can find us pretty much anywhere at Nakamapod.
At nakamapod.
Yeah.
You can rate and follow us.
Yeah, do that on you can do it on Apple Podcasts. You can leave an actual like text review, which we do. We'll be reading those on the show. You can also on Spotify, there is a rating function now. It's just stars right under the name, and it's only accessible on mobile. So if you're one of those weird people who listens to Spotify on PC, you can't use that function yet.
Make sure to comment to bully Peralta into going to Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Not happening. Those Backstreet Boys.
So since we have an
Okay,
editor,
so clearly what you want to do is you want to write into Crunchyroll so that way they get the Backstreet Boys as a guest, and then Peralta will have to come because the Backstreet Boys will be there, and that's where her ticket's for.
all right, bye.
Bye.